Hi, I'm Stuart Leask, owner and operator of LeaseSpec. If you take a look around, you'll notice that the garage is looking a little bit different today. Previously, we had the S15 over there back on the 2 posts. I've got the 33 on there now so that I could do some 3D scanning and some product development off of it, so it is down currently. The S15 is gone. I'm going to post some pictures here at the beginning of this video of the finished product in case you missed it on Instagram. Just some still shots, nothing too crazy, but I was really happy with how it turned out, so I wanted to share these pictures with you. Cool. And yeah, that car turned out absolutely beautiful. Customer's driving it down in Austin right now, said everything's good to go. A couple small teething errors, nothing out of the ordinary as far as cars are concerned, but yeah, good to go. So now I'm going to move you guys on to the next project that I'm working on in the shop. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stop with the R34 GTR. I'll touch up on that just a little bit. But in conjunction with the 34 GTR, I now also have a 34 GTT, or I suppose it's actually an HR34, as this is a base model, but all-wheel drive variant. There are some people out there that are going to correct me on that, but this essentially an all-wheel drive GTT is what I would categorize this car as. The customer was in the process of doing some strut tower tops, some of the upper frame rails, and he got to the point where he decided that his travel time to come up to work on the car here in Dallas, and he lives in Houston, so for reference for everybody that's not like Texas knowledgeable, it's about a 4-hour drive each way, so it's a lot of driving for not as much work as he wanted to get done per weekend. So he contacted me and was like, hey, can you at least get this car to the point where it's ready to accept the rear fenders? So he dropped off B&R 34 genuine OEM rear quarter panels, driver's side and passenger side. And as you could see, some of the mating surface is a little bit rough. Now, this isn't a byproduct of his work. At some point in time in Japan, this car seems to have gotten quarter panel repair. However, when they did the repair, obviously they did not upgrade it to GTR. They probably just replaced it with GTT, or they might have even fixed what was originally there. We'll go into depth more on this during the project, but if you look, you can actually see a lot of it is just a very, I hesitate to call it sheet metal. It's almost more like a 10. And it's adhered with small tack welds to the OEM metal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you guys through the process of what it takes to get this car ready to accept the new quarter panels. Now, I'm going to go ahead and state this. I am not a panel beater by trade. This is not inherently my number one skill set. I have a lot of help and a lot of knowledge that my buddy Steve from SR Auto Bodies is willing to share with me throughout this process. So if I ran into any snags or anything that I wasn't kind of prepared for, he's been extremely helpful with that. And Steve, I know I say it all the time, but I wanted to say again, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate everything that you're willing to share with me, and it makes this job go 10 times easier. So what I did is I've already gone ahead and done the passenger side. I got all the mating surfaces corrected, cleaned up. They're not primed, but they're ready for that stage. And I've started extending the inner arch because this wheel well actually needs to come out a little bit to match the curvature and the profile of the B&R 34 quarter panels. We'll get to that here shortly. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and start disassembling all of the basics, some of the stuff that's going to be in our way, the trunk latch, some of the wiring. Let's get some of this stuff moved over so that we can see what we're working with, and I'll show you guys the steps and the process that I take to get this quarter panel fitted and ready to go. And that wraps up removing the, I'm not sure exactly what to call that panel, but anyways, it's the panel that seats the vent for the rear of the car. A lot of it was rusted out, as you can see right here. Actually, I guess this will be a better example. A lot of it was rusted out and then previously repaired. So you can actually see that's just 10 repair. And a lot of that 10 repair kind of extended to the rest of the quarter panel. So you have that wrapping underneath the bottom right there. You've got a lot of rust and reintegration of this kind of work into the rear wheel well, as well as, well, I guess this panel is its entirety, which justifies the reason why we are swapping out this entire panel. So the previous owner had started to remove that a little bit, and we just finished it off. We've got separation from the rear trunk floor, and everything's cleared out. I'm waiting on the new replacement panel so I can put it in place and solidify it in. But for now, we can at least move forward with the quarter panel and start doing it. So while we wait for that piece, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off a little bit more of this wheel well so that it's not in the way of the fit. And I'm gonna go ahead and redo the quarter panel cuts. There is a better place that we can cut it on the C pillar. And then I need to cut the B pillar so that I can mimic the cut on the new quarter panel over there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start my new cut location here, transfer it over to the quarter panel, as well as get the C pillar cut where I'd like to cut it and get it prepped. And then we'll start test fitting the quarter panel into place and making sure that everything fits and aligns somewhat happily, as obviously we're not ready to permanently install it yet. Now that I've made my cuts on the B pillar and the C pillar, I see a couple of areas that I need to go back through and kind of weld and redress and just strengthen back up just a touch. I'll go ahead and take care of that. But in the meantime, what I've done is I've made cut lines that I know now how to transfer to the new quarter panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the quarter panel so that everything is ready to fit up. And then after this, we'll remove the door catch, and we should be ready to give this thing its first test fit and see how close we are. Whoa. Right? Whoa. Huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great fit. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tires back on and put it on the ground. She is good to go. Now, so yeah, obviously, poor jokes aside, that's the beginning of test fitting the quarter panel, making sure that it's roughly in the right space. Everything that I'm gonna do moving forward is reliant on this kind of sitting in its final resting place. So a few of the things that I take note of is how it lines up with the trims, how it lines up on the body line itself. It looks like we've got some pretty good clearances here currently. Making sure that everything is nice and happy inside of the door jamb. Never mind some of this discoloration, that's just aircraft stripper. And making sure that everything is good inside the wheel wells. You can kind of see that that wasn't quite seating just yet because we've got some more rust repair here on the back of this sill that we need to address. And down here as well. There's not much for it to mount to currently, as the drape panel isn't currently installed, but as soon as it gets here, we'll be able to use that as Another point of location, also making sure that it's good here with the rear gas lid. And last but not least, I need to go through and kind of get this back into spot. This was from the previous removal of the original quarter panel. And I need to also get the taillight housing on here so I can make sure that I've got good clearances here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and start on the location tool that I'm gonna use to figure out how I extend the wheel well. And what I mean by that is if you look down inside of the existing wheel well, you'll notice that the edge currently is about an inch in from where the GTR stuff sits. And that's kind of the pattern and the trend all the way across. So I need to extend this, get it brought out so that it matches the line of the new wider GTR quarter panel. So good. Okay, and so that's the piece that's going to make the outermost extremity of the inner wheel well. It'll make more sense whenever you see it on the car. But basically we needed to make a profile that matched the existing quarter panel so that once this is all said and done and the quarter panel goes on for its final time, ideally these two surfaces are a perfect match to each other. I'll go ahead and show you the other side of the car now. I've actually gotten a little bit further on that side off camera. I've already gone through and I've made this inner piece. I braced it to the car, I located it, and I extended the wheel well. And to give you an idea of what the not finished wheel well extension is, I'm still working on this side, but to give you an idea of what it is that we're aiming for. This side I've already done off camera. So I've extended the tops, and this is kind of just the basic range. This is going to have to be kind of reconstructed. There is another corner piece that drops around here that there's still remnants of left up here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. I'm going to make the whole drape piece over again. And as you can see, the replacement side piece is already in. We went new with this, just as we're going to do on the other side. And once all of these are kind of more permanently fitted up, I'll build everything that reconstructs this area right here. But this is generally what the wheel well extension kind of comes out looking like. Still needs some cleanup, a little bit of hammer and dolly work. This gets trimmed back a little bit, and then once the quarter panel is fitted back on, this gets welded and adhered to the quarter panel itself. So lots of little steps, making sure that everything fits along the way. making sure that the quarter panel is sitting correctly before you place this on the car, making sure that this doesn't walk or move while you're welding, making sure that the quarter panel lines up with the tail lights, with the trunk, with the door, et cetera, before it's actually time to kind of set it on the car permanently. So lots of steps. I've been learning a lot as I've been going through and doing this. I am sure I'm not perfect at it. I'm obviously trying my hardest, and it's something that I'm very interested in and wanting to get better at. So I just figured that I would kind of share the process with you guys. Maybe it feels a little bit more relatable because I am not a professional body guy. This isn't actually what I do for a living. I would say believe it or not, but I'm sure it's very easy to believe. This is not what I do for a living, but it is something that I just want to get better at. So anyways, I just figured I would share. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more R34 stuff because it's either going to be GTT or GTR, one of the two. And they're both pretty much going to be going nonstop. And then not too long from now, hopefully the R34 sedan, my personal car, is also going to be getting some work. So happy to share that with you guys. Stay tuned and catch you on the next one. Thanks.